Bruja Born by Sarita Cordova for my brother Danny. About them time, right? Chapter 1. They say el corazón has two hearts, the black thing in its chest and the one who wears its sleeves. Tales of Deus, Felipe Tomás San Justino. This is a love story. At least it was before my sister sent me to hell. Though technically Los Lagos isn't hell or underworld, it's another realm inhabited by creatures, spirits, and wonders I'd only read about in family books of cantos. The place where I was kept, where my whole family was imprisoned by a power-hungry witch. That was as close as hell as I could ever get to. But that's another story. Luna, are you ready? My sister Alice asked. I stared at the open closet and can't find the socks to go with my step team uniform. I riffled through bins and underwears and mismatched socks and custom jewelry. Luna, Alex repeated softly this time. For the past 7 or so months, Alex has been extra everything, extra patient, extra loving, extra willing to do my chores. She means well, but she doesn't understand how suffocating her attention is. How quiet in her eyes drives a sick feeling in my gut because I'm trying to be okay for her, for our family and friends. I think I've gotten pretty good at faking it, but sometimes, like now, I snap. Give me a minute. I don't mean to snap. Honestly, but everything that's come out of my mouth lately has been hard and angry. I don't know how to make it stop. That's not who I am. That's not who I was before. Rose, our young sister, walks into my room wearing long sleeves and jeans, though there's a heat wave and it's mid-June. Rose has gifts of the veil. She can see and speak to the dead. Spirit magic runs through different wavelength than the rest of our powers. And being so tuned in that the realm means she's always cold. Rose takes a seat on my bed and picks out a tiered blanket. Can I go to the pregame with you in mask? She asked me. I've never been to one before. No, I say. Why not? When she frowns, her round face gets flushed. Sometimes I forget that underneath all her power, she's just a 14-year-old kid trying to fit in. Because, I say digging through my dirty laundry, it's just for the team. We can drive to the game with Ma and Alex. And Dad? Rose's voice is quiet as a denim. Right, Dad. After 7 years of being missing and presumed dead, he's in our lives again. It's an odd feeling having him back. Once we all shared, but haven't talked about. He has no memory where he's been, and even we can't say it out loud. Maybe we moved on without him. Alex has always been the one who said he was gone for good and perhaps deep down inside. I thought that too, but I always corrected her. I was the one who believed he returned, because sometimes false hope is better than being completely hopeless. I believe in lots of things once. And that, I say. The three of us exchanged a look on unease. There's too many things that are unsaid between us. I wish I could go back being loud and rowdy and sometimes like happy, but it's taking longer than I thought. So here are just things leave unsaid. One, we're brujas, witches, magical BAMFs with powers, gifted by the deus, or gods. A house full of magic is bound to cause some friction, and after Alex did, there's plenty of friction. Two, my sister Alex Castacano that banished the entire family to the realm of Lagos. She got to sharp as the Christ of magical hills and meadows with Nova, a hot brujo we never talk about, and her now girlfriend Rishi. Meanwhile, I was trapped in a freaking tree, a big evil tree. I was surrounded by all-consuming darkness, and even though we're home and safe, I still feel the pull. Like sometimes something is sucking up my soul and light, and this house is too small and crowded, and I don't know how to make this fear stop. I don't know how to get over it. Three, I can't stand looking at my own reflection anymore. I look at all the mirrors in my bedroom down, even the one that was on my altar to keep away malicious spirits. They don't need it. One look at my face and they'll be scared off. Running where you are, Alex said, her guilt radioactive. Technically, technically, the attack that left my face hideous disfigured with scars was Alex's fault. I'm a terrible sister for thinking it. Forgive and forget and all that, but the most malicious that came looking for her attacked me. Their vicious claws rent my face. Sometimes when I'm alone, I can smell the rot of their skin, see the glow of their yellow eyes, and feel the presence even though they're long gone and vanished. To be fair, Alex has scars from the Maloscuros too, right across her heart, but she can cover them up. I can't. Not naturally, anyway. Having a sister who is all-powerful and cancerous has benefits. There are a million problems going in the world, but there I am, worrying about my scars. But deep down, I know it's even more than the scars. I've been called beautiful my whole life. I've been aware the way men's eyes trailed my legs since I was far too young. The way boys in school stuttered when they spoke to me. The way they offered gifts, bodega bought candy, stolen flowers, and handwritten notes with yes or no scribbled in pencil. My Aunt Maria Azul told me my beauty was power. My mother told me I was left fragments of myself. Beauty was a gift. And they were right. Then what am I now? All I know is I left fragments of myself in Los Lagos and I don't know how to get them back. So I turned to my sister because she owns me one. But before we can get started, my mother knocks on my open door, dad trailing behind her like a wraith. Good, you're all together. Can I borrow you guys for a minute? Ma asks. She rests a white laundry basket against one hip and waves a sage bun like a white flag. I want to try the memory canto, your father, before we leave. The sun's in the right. We're busy, I say, too angry again. I don't like talking to my mother like this. Hell, any other time I catch hands for speaking to her like that. But we're all a mess. Guilt, anger, love, plus a lot of magic in a pontet mix. Something's give to give, gotta give, and I don't know if I want to be here when it does. Mom throws a sage stick on top of the clean laundry, scratches her head with a long red nail. Her black lined eyes look skyward and is begging for the Dells for patience. Makes to speak, but Dad places a hand on her arm. She tenses his touch with a withered Rasta hand. We have to pull our weight around here, Ma tells me, a challenge in her deep coffee brown eyes that I don't dare look away from. That doesn't, I say, and I feel Rose and Alex retreat 2 paces away from me. Traitors. He's trying. You haven't healed so much as paper cut since I widen my eyes, waiting for her to say it since Los Lagos, since the attack. But she can't. You have, Alex. I say, turning my thumb towards my sister. She's an enchantress. Healing comes with a package. Lula. Mom pinches the bridge of her nose and then chills as my father tries to be a voice of reason. Carmen, he whispers, let him be. It's okay. But my mother doesn't fully let up. How much longer will you keep having your sister glamour you? Alex looks to her toes. And all that power in her veins, she can't escape being shamed by her mother. I might just feel her, but I watch my mom's gaze. We share more than our light brown skin and wild black curls. We share the same fire in our hearts. Until it stops hurting, I say. I don't let my voice waver. We share sadness too. I see it in her. Woven in her wrinkles around her eyes, she hands me a black bundle, my uniform, socks, and she says, we'll see you at the gate. Close the door, I told Rose after our parents sat downstairs. I sit cross-legged on my faded flower-patterned rug as Alex prepares the canto. Since she embraced her power, her brown eyes have tiny gold flecks, and her hair falls in thick, luxurious waves. She even wears a loose around her shoulders, and I think it's because Rishi likes to twirl it around her finger when they think that we're not looking. There's a light inside of her, the light of an enchantress and a girl in love. I had to say I told you so, but I did tell her so. Magic transforms you, magic changes you, magic saves you. I want to still believe in all those things. Rose cleans up my altar, sneezing when she breathes in the layers of dust. She lights a candle for El Amor, deo of love and fervor. Besides, it lights a candle for Lama, the ruler of the sun and mother of the deos. Gross. Lula, when was the last time you cleaned your altar? Rose asked, wiping her finger from her jeans. I only shrug and lie back on the floor. She sits at my feet and holds my ankles. This is for magic. I think she's just trying to comfort me in the only way she knows. Alec kneels right over my head. A year ago, Alex kept her power bottled up. Now she calls it on so easily. She pulls the smoke from her candles, elongating it between her fingertips like cat's cradle until it circles the three of us like a dome. Next, Alex rips the head of the long stem white rose and sets the petals in a bowl. Our magic, our brujeria, isn't about putting herbs together and chanting rhymes. Anyone could do that. This canto has no words, just the sweet hum my sister makes as she sifts through the rose petals. The rise of her magic fills the room, settled along my skin like silk. One by one, she places each petal on my face. She hums until she's covered every inch of porcelain scar tissue I'm wearing, the mask made of roses. She pushes her power into the rose mask and slowly it takes on her magic. The petals heat up and soft and melting into my scars like a second skin. I'm never ready for the part, but I go to park it brace myself. Glamour magic requires pain. I hiss when it stings, like a hot needle jabbing into my flesh. Maybe we should stop, Rose tells Alex. I shake my head once. I'm okay, I swear. Alex keeps going, holding her hands over my face, weaves a heat emanating in her palms, breathing great tip through the discomfort. There, Alex says. The earthy sweetness of rose blooms and fills my room. Nothing coats the scents quite like roses do, and I lock eyes. There's too much I want to say. Thank you. I'm sorry. Are you okay? Her face right there, where my scar should be. Darkness with red splotches I recognize a recoil of glamour magic. Bruises of redness that match the person being worked on. All magic comes with a cost. The cycle of give and take of the universe keep us balanced. She never complains though. She smiles, stands, busies herself with her phone. I go to my dresser and I pull around a hand mirror that I got at the garage sale for $1. It's a dual metal that makes me feel like the evil queen from Snow White. When I was little, I used to root for Snow, but lately I feel the queen was way misunderstood. Women with power always get a bad rep. My mood changes instantly when I look at myself in the mirror. I feel like I'm bound to this bit of magic that gives me back a part of myself, even if it is superficial. The scars are gone. La belleza canto is a stronger form of glamour. When I touch the area where 4 cross marks are supposed to be, there's nothing there but flawless sun-skinned kiss. Mirror, mirror, I whispered to my reflection, tilting my face from side to side. I grab my favorite pink lipstick and apply it. It's a coral shade that brings out the honey brown of my skin and my gray eyes. Still mirror. I fluff my mane black curls and rub my lips together to make sure my lipstick is even. I wish I could make this feeling last. For now, I'm going to enjoy it until the next time. Thank you, I tell Alex and press a sticky kiss on the cheek. Girl, she mutters, wiping it off. Then she picks up the decapitated rose stem, bowl, and unused petals. Let's go, Rosie. My phone chimes and my heart flutters when I see Mac's name on the screen. I'm outside. I analyze the message and I put on my socks. His text gets shorter and shorter every day. Part of it is my fault for being so distant. Ever since Lagos, shadows seem to leap around every corner and crowd my face. Makes me feel like I'm sinking. My head barely above water. Nothing puts a big fat X on the social life and the fear of monsters only they can see. Today will be better, I tell my reflection. Slipping into Mac's Leatherman jacket before I run into downstairs. See you at the game, my mom shouts. I wave as I zoom out the door and into Mac's car parked in front. The minute I'm outside the house, I can breathe again. When I'm around Mask, I don't have to think about magic and I'm ready to sink into the comfort of his humanity. Hey, Mask says, not looking up. He fiddles with the radio stations, but they're all staticky. He ends up plugging his phone. His personal coach doesn't believe in kissing or anything else exciting on game day. I want to believe that's why his voice is distant, that's why he's reaching for my hand. But seeing him fills me with a sense of need. The need to be my old self. The need to be happy. So I press my lips on his cheek and leave my pink imprint on my mouth. You're in a good mood, he says. Thick black brows knitting in confusion, and I'm bothered that he sounds surprised. His knee shakes a little and I place my hand on his try and comfort him. He always gets nervous before a game. But he's the best goalie at school he's seen in years. Nothing gets past him. Last game of the year. It's a big deal. I smile when he looks at me before putting the car in drive. Relief washes over me when he takes my hand and kisses my knuckles and speeds down the empty Brooklyn street. We beat Van Buren like 6 times, but they're still a solid team. Squeeze my hands once more, and then let's go. You okay? I asked. As a healer, I can sense tension nodding in his aura. He's always nervous before a game, but today's worse than usual. Maybe I'm feeling the pseudo magic from Alex Canto. My magic has been way off. At the red light, he turns to me. His hair is combed back at the top of his edges, freshly brushed. I brush my fingers at his nape, where the barber didn't brush off all the stray hairs. Luna. He says my name like a sigh. He turns to me again, and I can tell what he's searching for. But when I look at him, I really look at him. I remember why I fell for him. The sweet caring boy whose smile made me dizzy, and I always kept a spring of hydrangeas my altar because they remind me of his eyes. We both start when someone hung behind us, and he faces the road again. I was thinking, I say, trying to make my voice low and playful, but I end up feeling silly. We could do something after the game. There's the two of us. I already told the team they could party at my house. My parents are on a business trip, and my sister's already at Uki camp for summer. I shouldn't be annoyed, but I am. I tell myself he's just tired. He's been practicing extra hard. He's going to Boston College on a soccer scholarship. Wants to be on top of his game. We haven't been alone in a while, I say. That's not my fault. It's not my fault either. Look, I don't want to fight. Another red light, he shakes his head like he's disparaging the thought he just had. What? I'm just saying. He sighs and flicks on his turn signal. We haven't been alone because you never feel like being alone. You've been so often, I don't know what to do anymore. I told you about my dad coming back and the break-in. I watched the red light. People, the crosswalk were a few blocks away from the school. I recognized a couple of girls from my team in their black and red uniforms. A woman dressed in all black trails behind them. She holds a cane that glints in the sunlight. With every step, her jewelry seems from side to side. She wears dozens of necklaces made of glittering gems and wooden beads. She glances at us in the car, and I swear I've seen her before. For a flash, the dark stare takes me into a place of nightmares. My skin is hot, and when I close my eyes, I picture the shadows reaching for me with their claws. I grip the car seat with my hands, and I will stop shaking. I know you have family stuff, Max says. Thankfully, I'm unaware of the tiny freak out. And just, I'm not sure how to say it. You're not the same person you were 2 years ago. 2 years ago. Max and I've been dating for 2 years. That's the 2 years of dates, 2 years of I love yous, and I want you forever. 2 years of going to sleep reading his messages or hearing his voice just before I drifted off, dreaming about us together. Max wasn't the first boy to tell me I was beautiful. But when he said it, when he kissed the inside of my wrist and wrote it over and over again, "You're beautiful. I love you," I believed them. I rolled down the window, my scars burned, and I flipped down the sun visor, double checked that Alex Cantos is holding up. There I am. I look like the old me, even if I don't feel like her. Mask pulls into the school parking lot behind the gym and puts the car in park. He taught me how to parallel park even though I don't have my license. It's a weird memory, but it pops into my head as he unbuckles the seatbelt and holds the steering wheel with a white knuckle grip. Mask, my voice is small because I know what comes next. He breathes in a long and deep and steady himself. I think we should break up. Chapter 2. El corazón falls in love over and over, trying to make two hearts whole. Tales of the Deos, Felipe Tomás San Justino. Please don't make a scene, Mask says softly. The school band recognizes Mask's cars and cheers as they board the gig yellow cheese buses. The parking lot is full of students, faculty, parents, and dressed in Thornhill Knights colors, ready to carve in all the way to Queens Village. My body flushes hot in the thought of getting out the car to join them. I take a deep breath, anger burning a clear path to my lips. You think we should break up? Baby, don't. He stops whatever he's going to say next, catching himself from the familiarity. At the first gut, meet my gut. Don't call me baby. Lula, I've tried. He squeezes the steering wheel. I've tried so hard, but it's been months. I know the robbery was hard on you. You have no idea how much I wish I could have been there to protect you. And your answer is this? And I look out the window in the faint reflection moments ago. I was so sure that today was the day everything would be better. You can't stand the idea of spending one more second with me that you're doing this now. He turns to me, daring to hurt. That's not true. You shouldn't know me better than that. I've waited until graduation. But my sister said it wasn't fair to you. One minute you're fine and the next you're not. I'm trying, Mask. What about last weekend? Remember Pierre's party? You just walked out the middle of the street and stood there, staring into space. If I hadn't come outside, you would have gotten clipped by the car. I do remember. There were too many people in that house and it was dark, so I walked outside and stared into the light moon. It was only moments of peace I found in so long I didn't notice the car until Mask screamed my name and pushed me out of the way. He was white with fear and holding my face in his hands until he was sure I wasn't hurt. He drove me home right away. You have to talk to someone, he told me, and I said, I'm fine, I promise. I'm sorry, he says. I really am. You're not the same person I fell in love with. You don't want to be around your own friends. You haven't applied to colleges. It's like your fire is gone. The unfairness of his words stings worse than the mornings of Canto. If he knew the truth, he surely understand. But how do you tell your Sin Mago boyfriend that the robbery all over New York's news was actually the attack by a power-hungry demon witch? I fled between wanting to slash his tires and begging him to stay with me. I'll try harder, I wanted to say. But I can't. So I just watched as the team loads their gear bus. Mask? I plead. Doesn't he understand that he's only been the constant thing in my life? Don't do this. He finally turns to me, his gaze travels across my face, and I wonder if he's trying to remember why he fell in love with me in the first place. I never wanted to hurt you, but I have to do the right thing. The right thing, I echo his words. For yourself, you mean. You can't put up with me, so you're falling, failing. Just say it how it is. Don't pretend you're making a sacrifice. You're twisting my words. I thought a lot about this. I don't know how to help you. I don't know how to think I'm good for you. So I'm to make a choice, even if it hurts us both. If it hurts that much, then don't do it. I hate the weakness in my voice. We can't forget about this. Just pretend it never happened. I care about you, Lula. He turns to me. At this moment, I have never loved and hated someone so much all at once. But I can't give you what you need. Deep inside, you know that. We A dozen hands smacked the windows of the car. I jumped into my seat and Max curses loudly when he sees his teammates using his car like a set of condos. Let's go, Herbaskis, they shout, and wounded up in energy and excitement. We got a game to win, son. I need a minute, he says, pulling down the visor. Lula, but when he looks at me, he falls silent. He hands me a key fob and gets out. And then, when I flip, wanting to smash his car, I watch him lift his duffel bag into his shoulder. He glances back at me twice before he makes into the bus, where the boys greet him with fist bumps and cheers, and that he doesn't return. He looks down at his feet, his lip tugging into a crooked smile. I always love that smile. I reach for my phone, my hands longing for something to crush, but spike anger resolves into sadness. I reach out to the first person that comes to mind. I text Alex. Max broke up with me. Just then, my chest tightens, and despite the warm early summer breeze, I shiver. My breath comes out in a tiny cold. My arms are out, covered in goosebumps beneath my mask jackets. Out of habit, I checked the parking lot for shadows that shouldn't be there, but there's only the school mascot, a knight waving plastic swords running back and forth in front of the bus. My intuition must be messed up. Maybe my body is just physically rejecting this breakup. Matt's words play in my head on loop. I've tried. I don't know how to help you. Looks like your fire's gone. I think about my mother and how long it took her to piece herself together after my father disappeared. I used to watch her get ready for the day, painting her eyes and lips in vibrant colors to hide her gray scars. She'd stare in the mirror and say, "Don't let them see you cry." Now I repeat her words to my reflection. I press my fingers against my tight frown on my forehead, pull a stained ribbon from my bag, last piece of her cheer uniform, wrap it around the top of my head and tie the ends into a bow. I fluff out my curls and try not to think about how Max used to like coiling strands around the length of his finger. I uncut my shimmering coral gloss and softly, slowly drag it across my bottom lip. imagining I'm used to smooth the edges of my heart. This morning, I said things would be different. Maybe I could still change the girl I was before my family's world turns upside down. Before I had to hide behind a mask of borrowed magic and rose petals. My phone buzzes with a message from Alex. Come home, we haven't left yet. I'm sorry, you'll deserve better. I'll go get pizza. Sea salt caramel? Part of me wants to listen to Alex. A long shower and an evening of eating my weight in cheese and ice cream sounds amazing. But the old Lula wouldn't shrink away and hide. I text Alex back. I'm fine. Matt might be right. Some things have changed. But my fire isn't gone. Not completely. I can still fix this. I can make him see that we need each other. I search deep inside for some of the fire Matt says I've lost, and try to remember that even if I feel broken, I'm still made of magic. I get out the car, lock it, and pocket the key fob. The two buses are lined up and ready to go. Those staying behind wave goodbye, whistling between fingertips and shouting calls of good luck. Come on, Lula, my friend Cassandra waves from atop the door. Her black skin shimmers with dusty glitter she likes to wear to the games. I sling my bag over my shoulder and run towards the bus. The door sighs to close behind me. Manny, the bus driver, nods in my direction as I make my way up the aisle. The air is thick with excitement and makes a perfumed perspirations of 2 dozen bodies that make my nose itch. Because I'm one of the last ones in the bus, all the seats are taken, except for one. I stand still for long and people look at me. Cassandra gives me a look, and everything okay? Face number 12. Ramirez looks at me and up and down and then smiles like he hasn't been checking me out. Number 23, Samori, waves from his designated seat to the back of an unofficial DJ. A couple of girls from the step team whisper behind freshly manicured hands, their eyes standing between masks and me. Do they already know? How am I supposed to sit next to him for an hour? Heat burned my cheeks, worked down my neck, across my chest. I have an urgent need to turn back, to steal Max's cars and drive back home. But Manny closes the doors and starts the engine. Lula, Max says, gesturing to an empty spot beside him. It's the last game. This is still your seat. I take a steady breath and then take the seat next to Mask. The same one I've had for 20 years. I had for nearly 2 years. The captains that were squatted side by side of the seats always been this cramped? Or am I now noticing because I'm doing everything possible to keep my body from touching his? I take off the jacket I'm wearing and quietly place it in his lap. From the corner of my eye, I can see him clutch it and turn to me. I was going to let you keep it, he says softly, maybe even hurt. I turn my knees away from him, so they're at the aisle. It's hard to look at him and know he doesn't want me. A cry forms my throat, but I push it back and say, you wanted this? I'm giving you what I want. And my phone buzzes again, cutting off whatever mask is about to tell me. Alex. On our way, I feel a bad vibe from Sarah. Alex, there's still time to come home. Me. No, I have to get through the day. I wait for her to answer, but Coach starts the pregame speech. All right, boys and girls, he says in a thick Brooklyn accent. It's easy to tell you that this game is in the bag. We're undefeated, but so are they. They're still got something they don't. The best damn team I've seen in years. And I'm freaking all as dirt. Everyone laughs except the two of us. Max leans forwards and arm brushed against mine. Warm and familiar and unbearable. It's been a pleasure being your coach, and I want you to know how proud I am, no matter what happens. You're not going to cry on us, are you, Coach? Somebody asked playfully. Shut it, Sam, Coach barks. All right, Manny, let's get the show on the road. There's a volley of hoots and whistles, but no one stays in their seats like they're supposed to. A couple of the guys brought confetti poppers for the end of the game, are starting to set them off, and Manny turns to the highway. And Samori holds his handheld speaker up so music fills the entire bus. As he's in the seats, Coach Warren's staring at his phone. He's so clueless when he's going over plays. He wouldn't even notice if the whole soccer team started stripping down into their underwear. The chill from earlier returns to my skin, and I reach across Mask to shut the window. As I sit down, Mask holds the jacket out to me. You're cold, he whispers, leaning into my ear because it's so loud around us. Just wear it. Don't get sick because of me. I shake my head and remember the first game he gave me his jacket. We were in the middle of the hallway and held it out for me. It was too big, but it smelled like fresh grass and his earthly soap and definitely like boy. Lula, Ramirez turns around his seat. His big brown eyes are looking at me. You dropped this. He holds a red ribbon with his finger folded against his palm. I touch my hair and realize my mice slipped off. Thank you, I say when I will myself return to his smile. You guys going to the prom after party in the city? Ramirez asked. My heart squeezes painfully, and I play with a red ribbon in my hands. Thinking about prom makes me the last pieces of old Lula's vacate to fly. I spent weeks combing through the thrift stores for the perfect blue dress. I picked it because the wildflower blue color matches my size. My tongue's so dry I fear my next words will turn into sand. I should have listened to Alex and gone home. My phone rings half a dozen times, but I just let it buzz in my purse. Yeah, man, Mask says over sexuality. See you there. I watch Mask. Mask watches me. Please stop staring at me, I whisper. He leans back and lets go with a long sigh. I can't. I can read his far stare, or the way he runs his finger through his hair to give his hands something to do. It's that regret. He reaches for my hand, then hesitates to pull it back, and likes what he's doing. I'm sorry. I don't like the way he looks at you. My pulse quickens as his words. What is he saying? Around us, the other boys are dancing in their seats like there's the middle of a parade. My team stomps their feet, clapping their hands to the chant. Let's go, Thornhill. The team chant gets stronger. The excitement of the air thick with desire to win, and I can't help but think it's familiar. Like being at that day ceremony, except instead of summoning some spirits, we're summoned by luck and courage and victory. Maybe that's the key. My power might not be physical like Alex, and I might not be able to talk to the dead like Rose, but I can heal. I heal bones and bruises and cuts, so why not us? Maybe I can summon love, fix the rift, and create between me and Max. I know him. I know he didn't mean it, and a part of him still loves me. The pressure of our lives got between us. Now I gotta make it better. I wind my ribbon around my wrist, red in love, red as blood, red as want. I let my magic bubble to the surface of my skin, gasp, and my power surges through me, like the slap of cold water, and I shudder from head to toe. Healing magic should be warm, but I can't reel it right now. I breathe faster and faster, think of every kiss and touch and secret we share. Lula, Mask inches closer and our eyes press side by side and throws his jacket around my shoulder. It's working. It has to be when I look up. Mask's eyes are trained on me. I don't dare look away from his face. There's a nick in his chin and I didn't notice before. He must have cut it himself, shaving. But when I push my magic into his skin, the red cut disappears. His lips parts were so close. I can feel his intake of breath, the race of his heartbeat. When he closes his hand around mine, I shut my eyes and memorize the feel of us, skin on skin. When I kiss Max, the world falls out of focus. Everything around us is pixelated except for him. This bus speeds down the highway, dozens of horns blaring from sliding against the window. I rest my hand on his jawline, freshly shaven and smooth. I push away all thoughts and focus on us. Whatever broke between us, I can fix. The kiss feels like 1,000 years, but it's been seconds. I pull back and catch my breath, and he leans forward like he can be a part of me. He kisses my cheek, my forehead, the tip of my nose. I said sit, Coach shouts and group of guys dancing in the aisles. Matt starts to wrap his arms around my waist, but every part of me turns cold. Matt looks down at me, worry wriggling his features. Our breaths become icy clouds. There's a crackle of static and the music cuts out. I stand to look around what's going on. Then the bus swerves, and my feet are no longer on the ground. I don't have time to scream as I struggle to find something to hold on to. Mason grips on me hard and pulls me back. Are you? The screech of tires is followed by the warp of crushed metal. Then down is up. A window shattered. Something hard breaks inside me. At first, it's dull, a pulsing ache. The pain shoots from my belly button right into my heart. And I scream, and scream as the bus spins in a fairy broken glass and bodies. I shut my eyes and warm liquid splutters my face. When I open them, blood blurs my vision. I hear my name, distant as a memory, called out until there's nothing but piercing static. There's a final slam. My body's so numb I can't move, can't stay awake. but I know I'm alive because of the thundering heart. Mask and I lay fighting face to face at our sides, and I can't feel nothing but see his hand resting on my arm, giving me a tiny shake. Stay away, he tells me, choking on the blood that bubbles from his mouth. Mask. Pain slams and pain slams into me all at once, concentrating on my abdomen, where the metal pole stabs straight through my torso and into his chest.